And you lucky people have been listening to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. And I'm Mark Sherry here this week with Mistress Miriam. And you just heard Bezos by Mike Cobb and the Crevulators. And we started out with I'm Falling for You by the Campbell Apartment. So, Mike Cobb and the Crevulators. This is a brand new song just out a couple of weeks ago. They're out of Norfolk, Connecticut and Brooklyn, New York as well. Yeah, this song Bezos is really it's a fun, catchy rocker with kind of a sneaky message.
Sneaky, very timely.
Yes. Yes.
It's just billionaires and going to outer space and just
Yeah, he's got Elon Musk in there and 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 Jeff Bezos, who's the obviously the title of the song, and he's definitely made the message that a lot of people obviously, somehow can think that they relate to these billionaires and think that these billionaires really are, they could be their pals, right?
yeah, of course they are. Elon, we're all getting in the spaceship and
Yeah,
going
right.
up for
But
10 minutes.
like Mike
Yeah.
says, you're never gonna get up in a spaceship with Bezos on
No,
board.
no.
You ain't living in his world, that's for sure.
You can go on Amazon and get the cat food, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's some really hot, tasteful electric guitar in this song too.
Oh, it's a great tune. I mean, it's really the music is fantastic. A plus subject matter, A plus music. A plus to you, Mark, for getting something so hot off the press.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, it's definitely something I wanted to get out right away. Well, one of the lines in this song struck me too. He says, "Elon has gone to join his fellows up there, and you and I are stuck in the tar." Right? And Mike's got a good, substantial resume as well. Back in when he was 20, he started an indie rock group called Lincoln Brigade, and they actually signed a contract with Island Records, where Bob Marley and Tom Waits and U2 were recording, and apparently they had some good success and toured with a lot of big groups then. Mike Scobb's got some resume there.
He opened for Oasis.
Yeah, that's
Made the
definitely
Cake, Bad Daddy. My God. He opened for Oasis. Need we say more?
no, not at all.
Not at all. Oasis,
No,
who are not from Western Massachusetts,
no,
but very much appreciate.
darn good, right?
Darn good.
Darn
Love
good.
the Oasis.
We started out with the song "I'm Falling for You" by the Campbell Apartment, who just released this song in 2023, just a little over a year ago. And this song was actually written. These guys are now in California. However, they were based in Western Mass back in the 90s and even the late 80s, and they actually wrote a whole bunch of songs that never got released. And underneath the name of a group that they had when they were here in Western Mass called Humbert, and they decided to release it just a year ago, as the Campbell Apartment. Harry, who was the songwriter, he was, I guess, I worked with Chris Collingwood from Fountains of Wayne, and they loved his music. And this is a really cool song. I really like it.
It's great. It's a bit of an earworm. It really catches you and like stays in your head. I'm falling for you. I love this whole thing too. It's a little complicated. Like once you explain it to me, it's sort of like dead stock songs, like, oh, we had the songs and now we're releasing them. It's like they've been there
So,
all along, but they haven't been released.
yep.
And they've been around. Like that's kind of cool.
Rolling Stone magazine actually put out a review. He called them pavementi and described them as having a 90s sound. I guess he didn't know that they were actually written in the 90s, right?
I wonder why they have a nice sound. Yeah, I, sh- I, My boyfriend, when I first started dating him, he said, "Oh, honey, you make me feel like it's the 90s." It which is such like a romantic thing for my generation. I know it's different for your generation because that doesn't really mean the same thing to you. But I was in my 20s in the 90s. And so, it's a very kind of, I don't know, sort of a loaded time. It was a time where you felt young and free. And the 90s had this particular feeling for a person,
Mm.
when you're in your 20s. I remember what the 90s felt like. I remember what the 90s sounded like. I remember what the 90s smelled like. I remember, everything about 90s everything. And, if Mark Ramone DJ was here, he and I are exactly the same age. We'd be driving you crazy because we'd be going off on this whole 90s tangent. But
Well,
I
let's.
love I love this for this reason. This stuff, these songs were put in a little time capsule
Yeah.
somewhere. They're written in the 90s and then boop, they popped out here. Uh,
Well,
and
we got some
some
songs now that are popping out from the 2020s. So,
oh my
um,
God.
our last block, we're gonna have
Oh,
songs by the Prozacs, Somewhat Woke, and we're starting out with Jon Carroll doing Rich Man's Daughter.